Then what? Then, how many?
4 pair. So those two
I have given only 4 copies.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have production, manufacturing expenses or cost of production, as it may be called.
Cost of materials consumed.
Heading
Expenses.
Expenses.
Under
expenses. Do you find that, sir?
Yeah.
Now you have somebody should
Yeah,
help me.
expenses. Yeah.
expenses.
Yeah. Fourth item.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you just pick up expenses which are related to the volume of sales and expenses unrelated to volume of sales. Can you pick up? For example, you said materials consumed.
Yes.
Is it related or unrelated?
Related.
Related. You call it B.
Okay.
Project expenses.
Yes. Now you can't have a very concrete definition of one or the other. You have to apply your mind and see the nature of the industry which we are examining, and keeping that in view, you should decide whether an expense is a related expense or unrelated expense. Related with what?
Volume of sales.
Volume of sales. For example, if I manufacture this pen, observe sir,
This one. Volume of sales, cost of materials.
1 minute sir. I manufacture this pen. It is made up of high density polyethylene granules, HDP granules. And let me say that this consists of about 10 grams of granules, 1 pen, and it consists of certain other material. Major item is HDP granule. Now I spend say 7 rupees for 5 grams of granules per pen, and I spend maybe 2 more rupees for a contract laborer who gets on the basis of the number of pens that he manufactures. I also have a supervisor who gets a monthly salary, and I have a managing director who gets his house paid for, rental paid for by the company. All put together, I will be able to sell 1 pen at 10 rupees, say at 20 rupees. Which of these expenses that I mentioned are relating to the volume of production and which are not? I said granules, I said labor, I said rent that I pay for the factory premises, I pay for the air conditioner in managing director's official quarters,
And supervise.
and supervisor's salary. Now you tell me, how do you distinguish these expenses under 2 categories? One, relatable to volume of production. Volume means 1 pen, this much of granule. 2 pens, double the expense. 3 pens, triple the expense. And supervisor's salary,
Fixed. Unrelated.
unrelated, fixed unrelated. Whether whether the factory functions or doesn't, he gets his monthly salary. Even if you have a layoff, he gets his monthly salary. But you save on the granules whenever there is a layoff. So broadly, this world can be divided into 2 hemispheres. One is a variable cost hemisphere, another is a fixed cost hemisphere. In any commercial activity, either production or even sales or service, there are only 2 broad categories of costs. One, that which varies with the volume of production, and therefore it is called variable cost. And the rest don't even define it, we call it fixed cost. By default, the definition is fixed cost is one which remains static irrespective of the volume of production. Now my job is only to pick up from the expenses heading according to you, this is analysis, and so it comes by experience. First you understand the nature of the product which this company is manufacturing, the business into which they are, then that will give you a proper idea how to categorize. Speak out.
Cost of materials consumed.
It is variable.
Yes, variable.
Next.
Change in inventories of finished.
No, that's an adjustment, book adjustment. You give it. That's only an accounting adjustment. So you think it's not an expense. And we will not conduct a commerce class here. Just directly, what are the expenses? In cash form, I have invested.
Yeah, employee benefit expenses.
Yes. Tell me what?
For
Variable or fixed?
fixed.
Next. Sir.
Purchase cost of materials consumed here, it is variable.
Absolutely.
Purchase of stocks in trade.
Purchase of stock in trade.
It's
Purchase
not
of stock in trade.
Yeah, it's
What
not-
is the big company doing?
TVS.
Purchase of stock in trade.
It's a repurchase.
Repurchase, is
I
it?
think stock
Buyback.
in trade means a buyback, I think. Because the term looks like that.
Yeah, because in my case also it is there, but there it is written as purchase of finished goods under the heading in the note.
Stock in trade.
Purchase of finished goods. Company purchases finished goods.
Purchase of stock in trade. So if I go there, it says purchase of finished goods.
Equity or the production
Here,
stock?
sometimes it's tire companies, so that's also not sure whether it's shares or some other.
We will see, we'll go to the note, right? XV. Purchases of stock, I think raw materials, I was saying. Opening stock of raw materials and components. Purchases, add purchases less.
Purchase of finished goods.
I think this in TVS it is related to raw material stock.
Finished goods is the word used here.
Yeah. So that is
For him. For us it is purchase of stock in trade.
True, sir. You are purchasing raw material, and therefore, so long as that is there, it is a variable cost. Now, let us do one thing. These are some accounting tables that they have used, and we shall not worry about it because our big picture is only to find out which are variable costs. Now, you leave the others which are doubtful and take only the direct costs which are relatable without any hesitation, and they constitute variable costs. Now you understand how what you should do is the total costs mentioned under production expenses or cost of manufacture or whatever heading that you have, the total expenses, minus what you have been able to identify as variables will be fixed. Don't waste your time debating whether it falls in this category or in that category. You understand what I said? Did anybody, then can you please identify that? Write down. Now the variable cost and fixed cost, the total should add up to the total cost. How do you start?
first variable cost I will identify.
You identify. Even if you have left out one or two, doesn't matter. Broad identification. Employee
Take
benefits,
these two.
fixed cost.
Fixed cost. The finance cost also fixed.
Yes.
This is a very good. Yes. This is a good. Expenses so 4 fixed and 150 stock 32. Cost of material is fixed variable. Inventories of
Other expenses I will treat as fixed.
5092 approximately.
That has a lots of items.
Not because of that. The major portions of variable have been specifically mentioned already. Therefore, even if there are a few small tidbits, it doesn't make any. You see, here I am not doing any audit work.
Yeah.
I am only identifying the variable and fixed for some purpose, which I shall shortly tell you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I am looking at a profit and loss account
Treat as fixed.
managerially and not like an accountant.
Even employee benefits. fixed. So what you can do, total minus variable is fixed.
That's right. Total minus variable is equal to fixed. Don't waste time at all and use all alphabet notations V and F. V is variable cost, the total of it, and F is fixed cost. V plus F should be the figure appearing under costs.
Changes in the inventory.
Sir, leave it, sir. Please. I told you, we are not accountants here. Leave it. Is it okay? You got all the three figures. Yes, you got sales. That is gross sales. Total sales.
Total
Gross
cost.
sales.
Total cost.
Sales.
Gross
Sales.
sales. Sir, right in the top,
Total, see, he's asking to write
First
total
line.
sales also.
Total sales.
in the profit and loss account, first line,
Revenue from the.
That's it.
Yes, sample. Yes.
that is called yes. Is it okay?
Yes.
We have now three figures in place.
Yes.
Yes, F, V.
Yes.
Now leave it. Look here. I will give you a simplified example. A typical balance sheet will have sales, something like 1,200 rupees, crores, lakhs, whatever. Then we have cost of production, which is also called manufacturing expenses, by whatever name each auditor calls. It comes under production costs. And they consist of raw material, labor, power, fuel, etc., composed into some headings. And they will say it is 720. Let us assume. You take, these are all variable costs, B. This is yes. First level is S minus V. And that is F. And in this case, it is 480.
Yes minus V. He said this. I thought
Total
yes minus-
expenses, total.
So total cost minus.
Cost is what we do. Sales.
Yes is sales minus variable costs, which are identified. I am reducing from sales variable costs. That level of surplus is S minus V. It is not total cost minus variable cost is equal to fixed cost. That is only a simple method of identifying F,
Okay, okay.
which you did.
Correct.
Now in this example, I am giving you the figure, 720. And 480 is my F. Of course, if I write the entire expenses, this is only cost of production I am taking. Not all expenses. All expenses are this plus this. Not quite, because the profit, now let's not worry about it. If I give you this variable cost as 720 and each one of you will work out your own V and your own S, your own balance sheet after you have heard this. You will substitute from out of your own figures after you have learned this mechanism. This is F. Now, sorry, this is not F, I'm sorry. This is S minus V, it's 480, it is not F. This is not fixed cost.
Yes.
This is just a surplus which I have identified as S minus V. I will give it a name. I will give it a name called C for contribution. Any difficulty? Total revenue, yes, minus variable cost which you have identified. First level of surplus I am getting it as C, which means contribution, and I have a reason to call it by name contribution because this is a source which will go to recover my fixed costs. I have already recovered my variable costs by identifying this 480. This 480 consists of the entire sales revenue after absorbing the variable cost, and therefore this surplus has to absorb only the remaining cost, which is F. Okay. Now supposing F independently, I will give you a figure, something like 120 is my F. This is a data I am providing in my balance sheet. This is my balance sheet. Now this 480 is the contribution towards recovering the 120, and it has completely recovered and created a profit of 360. This is the profit, because this profit has recovered both B and F. Nothing else is left. Out of 1,200, I recovered 720 plus 120, and whatever is left is profit. Don't worry, profit before tax, profit after tax, don't worry. Up to this point, any difficulty?
If the company says that we want to increase contribution margins or something, statements, is that talking about this?
We'll come to that. Just hold the questions. I'll come to it. See, pens are all right. Only the board has got a problem, I think. No, pen won't help. Because the board is there. Background is correct. This pen is also good. Okay. Now, if I want to identify a sales level, then I have broken even. Broken even means from out of the sales, I have recovered all of my costs and no profit, no loss. The situation is called break-even sales. Now, if I take the unit sale as SU, SU is selling price of 1 unit of this pen, which is 20 rupees. That is called SU. This SU must absorb unit variable cost plus unit fixed cost plus profit. This is how my billing is done. Whenever I say 30 rupees, 20 rupees, I ensure that all my costs are recovered, plus it leaves a profit per pen. That figure is my selling price. This is symbolically written in this manner. But if I am looking at the break-even sales, then at that level, this is 0. So I will call it at break-even level. This should hold good. I can write this as FU is equal to SU minus VU. See, nothing, pens are all okay, but something is wrong with the board. Yeah. It doesn't, pens are brand new pens, there is nothing wrong. Okay, SU minus VU. If the break-even number if I multiply both sides by N, which is the break-even number, not rupees, 150 pence, that number, I get N into FU is equal to N into SU minus VU. No problem. I'm multiplying both sides by N, that's all. Now if you see the left hand side, N into unit fixed cost means what? It is a universal global complete fixed cost per year. So I will just drop the suffix U and write F. Did you get me? And therefore it is N into SU minus VU. Therefore N, which is the break-even number, is equal to F divided by SU minus VU. Right?
Yes.
If I want to find the total sales at break-even level, N is the number of units and unit selling price is SU. If I multiply both sides by SU, what do I get? SU into N into SU. Is that right? Now the left hand side is break-even sales without the suffix U. And I will call it break-even sales. Yes, BES is equal to F divided by, can I write it like this? SU minus VU divided by SU.
Yes.
There is no space.
Yes.
Can I write like that?
Yes.
Now SU minus VU divided by SU, is it the same as S minus V divided by S?
Yes.
Because it is only a proportion and it holds good further. The total sales and total variable costs, if I uniformly drop U as unit economics from both numerator and denominator, the quotient remains the same. If you accept that, then I will rewrite my formula. In the manner BES is equal to F divided by S minus V divided by S. Can I write? Now S minus V is another form of C divided by S. C meaning contribution. If I open this profit and loss account and try to find out at what level this company has broken even and then proceeded forward to record this sale, I should be able to find the break-even sales from this data available. In your case, how much is it? Substitute. You have already written yes, me, yes. Only 3 variables, sir. Just substitute. Just substitute.
See, it's total cost, right?
Why total cost?
It's contribution.
Contribution.
S minus V is contribution. I will do in my balance sheet. This is my balance sheet. BES in my balance sheet is equal to 1,200. Sorry. F is 120 divided by contribution is 480 divided by total sales is 1,200. Just one step, that's all. in my balance sheet, this is my substitution.
Yes.
Check.
Yes.
And this will reduce itself as
Clear.
300.
Yes.
Rupees, not number. Break-even sales rupees is
300.
break-even sales. What do I make out of this?
If my sales in a year is more than this, I will be profitable.
That's right. If I have crossed my sales beyond 300, I am in the profit-making zone. I have entered. I am a mathematician. So I say, by how much? Otherwise, your English language does not satisfy me. Express yourself in my balance sheet. By how much have I crossed over the break-even and entered? By how much?
By
My profit zone.
so by 900 rupees. Or you should divide or subtract that. I don't know how much is.
Whenever you speak financially, it should be in percentage.
How much percent?
That makes sense. Not 900 rupees. Is it huge, big, small? Right?
Yeah, we don't know.
If I say 30%, makes sense.
So 400.
300
400.
upon 120.
One.
200. The sales.
Tell me the figure, sir.
1,200.
Correct. 300 divided by 1200.
1,200.
That
And
is-
make it to percent.
No, I said what is the extra that I have made.
Uh,
How much, by how much have I exceeded means it is 1200 minus 300, that is the zone,
Yes.
as a percentage of actual sales, which is 1200.
200.
That is 900 divided by 1200,
That is the percent.
which is 75%. Now I am 75% of my sales is beyond my break-even. What is my safety margin? No. Therefore, my margin of safety, for your concept, can you hear, can you see it, this marking? Margin of safety is actual sales minus break-even sales divided by actual sales as a percentage, therefore multiplied by 100, and that's equal to 1200 minus 300, 300. The pen mistake in the circle. It is not the fault of the pen. It's temporary. You try a test. I need the one. Maybe the pen also is better. This pen is also better. 1200 minus 300 divided by 1200. Now it is much better. I think something is wrong with the pen. Although be careful when you give it away to faculty members. They don't understand. Not all of them. Give one pen to each faculty and say, this is for your lifetime. And after 30 hours, if this goes bad, keep it. If it is good, return it. And in between, if there is any replacement, I forgot to bring the pen and so on and so on, we will wait for 20 minutes, go to Bunsen tree, buy a pen and come back. Each costs 35 rupees or even more. So just hold it like an Olympic torch and keep talking. They don't understand that as you are evaporating, even this is evaporating. This is 900 divided by 1200, and that is 75%. my MOS, which is the abbreviation for margin of safety, is 75%. What does that mean? At this present level of my activity, I can afford to roll back the hillock up to 75% of my present activity. Still, my nose is above the water level. I can afford. Sales can fall up to 75% of the present level. Even thereafter, I shall remain viable, VIABLE. Economic viability and technical feasibility are the two words used in every project.
Correct.
Technically feasible but economically not viable. The project is defeated. Similarly, the other way. Economically very viable, I can manufacture a toothpaste only for 2 rupees per tube, a family size tube, and I can effectively compete with Colgate by offering for 2 rupees. It is technically feasible, but economically not viable. If I show this graphically, supposing this is my line, the sales line, horizontally, and this is my break-even sales. Now I am here in 2015, my sales are 1200, my break-even sales are 300. This is my MOS. I can afford to roll back like who is that? Mrs. Jack, no? Or is she a sister or wife? Jill. Sister. So Jill came tumbling after, if you remember the rhyme.
Jack and Jill.
But they just say they went up the hill only to fetch a pail of water, but I don't know what for. And Jack, in the course of his excitement, fell down, and Jill came tumbling after because they were so closely with one another. They had to come back tumbling. Now I also can tumble back up to this level, that is my margin of safety is 75% of current level of activity, 75% of what? Current level of activity. Still remain economically viable. This is okay for 2015. If I go to 2014 balance sheet, same balance sheet, same column different, that's all. And if I apply the same parameters for S, V and W, V and F, don't do it now please listen to me. If you do that, you will get another break-even level. Your sales may have been different sales. And compared to that break-even level with the last year's activity, you may get a different MOS. And if you get an MOS of, let us say, 80%, sales last year were 100, sales this year maybe even 200, should you be happy? No, sir. I will reserve my judgment till I have worked out the break-even level. Supposing the last year's break-even level was 600, actual sales were 1000. Last year's break-even sales were 600, actual sales were 1000, good. But today the sales are 2000, should I be happy or not? No, until I know what is revised break-even this year. If the break-even this year is something like 1900 and my sales have become 2000 compared to 1000 last year, am I happy? In spite of the increased sales, if the break-even level has climbed up, eating up the ground of MOS, then whatever be the incremental sales this year will not impress me. my MOS should at least be preserved at every level of activity of mine. So even if the break-even climbs up next year, but sales are more than climbed up, then the MOS is increasing and I am happy. That is called growth, not growth in sales. An incremental sales is not called growth. Incremental MOS is called growth. Did you understand? Can you quickly work out the MOS of your own companies now,
Yeah. 38% for this year.
this year, previous year?
This one is CBS.
Oh, right.
Variable 160. Fixed is 322 minus 168.
Last year it was 33.7%.
So your conclusion should be, first of all, the company has enlarged its MOS. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. The company has enlarged its MOS, margin of safety. It is good. So the increase of the sales has been higher than the incremental BES.
Yes.
BES has climbed up, hasn't it?
No, actually in this company the BES came down
Came down. That's good.
little bit.
All right, good. So MOS has enlarged either because BES has come down or because the incremental BES has fallen short of the incremental sales. Others?
This year is 19%.
Ah.
Last year was 14%.
So it has enlarged. Have you, BES, how has it behaved?
BS this year it was 285. Last year it was 296. So it was BS was more.
Yes, so we have improved the BES a little bit. But by and large, the incremental MOS has been for other reasons, not only for BES. Good, sir. Both of you are doing the same balance sheet?
Yeah.
Sorry.
MOS this year is 5.2% and last year it was 12.7%. It has decreased.
It has decreased. Okay, don't be shy about it. Why are you taking it personally? Sir?
One second.
postman is still waiting around the corner after delivering his balance sheet. He is waiting down the corner for you to wave goodbye. Otherwise, he has so many other houses to deliver.
And then if you multiply by unit 6, you need to both 6. So he's multiplying both 6, so it's allowed in the first level. But basically,
Yes, sir.
if it is
Yes, sir.
okay, that's also okay. So then you would break it in, that's why you have some will say break, then you say some break even. So this is the break even sales, overall accumulated number. So this is that formula and you divide this into the dot inductive denominator. See, to the denominator. Why is sigma?
0.78.
Right.
Yeah, by C by S, right?
Just plot that
So we have put 1.5 by 6. First complete C by S.
and now if you multiply the sum number, such that this will create the total sales.
1,920.
This will be total sales. That's everything you multiply sum.
Yeah, but 5,000. Percentage is 24.9.
We got 2014 was 24%. Last year was
I have to cover some more ground. If you have any difficulty, let me go there.
You found right. 7065 minus 199. 0.1
it is increased, right?
Last year it was more, this year it is less.
Last year it is 30%.
What is that? This is the percentage.
Current year, right?
Current year, last year it is 70.
It was decreased. Last year it was 74%
What? MOS?
MOS.
Ah,
This
71.
year it is around 30%. 30, right?
25.
it's very nose dive.
Yeah, it's around 50%.
Yes, it has come down.
Yeah.
And last year break-even was how much?
5,300.
All right. This year,
5,000. This year it is 1,000.
1,995.
1,000.
so the break-even has climbed up faster than the growth of the sales. All right, we have got these figures. Now we have to interpret finally that we have passed a judgment that some of them are doing well and some are not doing well at all. It causes concern that MOS is shrinking tremendously. If nothing is done, cancerously it will eat into the MOS. Tomorrow, next year, probably it will become negative. That means its break-even may be higher than the actual sales, which means MOS may have been wiped off. Now you have to think proactively as to how to arrest it. Before that, you should know which of the elements in the BES formula. BES formula. Now we are only looking at the BES going up and down. What made BES to climb up to reduce the MOS? The formula is actual sales minus sales divided by S minus V, that is contribution. The break-even sales formula itself is what? F divided by C upon S. So we have three figures there. F, C, S. C itself has got two elements, which is S minus V. So we have F, S, V. Now you have to compare the F's 2 years, V's 2 years, and S 2 years. You will find S has increased, no problem. But how to bring down the BES in any fraction? How do you bring down the quotient?
Reduce the numerator.
The arithmetic. I am only asking you a simple arithmetic question. How do you bring down the ratio, rather the quotient? given the numerator and denominator. You enlarge the denominator and see that the numerator is not reduced. Enlarge the denominator. Now the denominator consists of S and V, S minus V upon S, therefore S and V. So you have to reduce the denominator means increase the sales or reduce the variable cost. That S minus V will S minus V upon S, that is contribution. Enlarge the contribution. Enlarge the contribution means enlarge the sales. You can't enlarge V, you should not. The contribution should enlarge. V remaining constant, therefore S must enlarge. Or in this case, F is the numerator.
Yes. If you,
Now reduce F to make the quotient smaller. So you address the departments which are incurring fixed costs. Probably you can lease out some of the facilities so that you don't need so much of space for your factory, and so you will reduce rent, and rent is a fixed cost. Probably offload some of the employees who are being highly paid, which is what every other company in America is doing. Even Cisco is reducing its employee strength. And so your fixed cost, employee salary will come down. Variable cost must also be reduced in the denominator. How can you reduce variable cost? Any strategic example, not that it is feasible, just speak. Assume any product, identify the variable cost of the product, mention, not just by example, you should tell me.
Raw materials.
Not raw material, I want example. Copper sulfate, that's an example.
Yeah.
I want that kind of an illustration.
Cheaper copper sulfate.
Can't have a cheaper copper sulfate and a costlier copper sulfate. Copper sulfate, alum and all these things are standard prices.
in this case tire. So rubber is one of the raw materials. So I can probably use cheaper rubber than from some quality.
You see, in a multinational company, cheaper is not what they look at. Cheaper is not the word. Supposing I manufacture sulfuric acid. No, I manufacture copper sulfate. How do I do that? How do I manufacture copper sulfate?
You can iron ore, you can buy and
Copper sulfate, how do I make?
Copper.
Yes, copper plus
sulfur.
Oxidating copper.
Copper is the base.
High school chemistry.
Tell me the reaction.
CuSO4. That's what is wrong.
Plus H2O.
H2O.
Who said H2O?
Plus 2H.
H2 will evaporate.
Does it stand in environment? 2H.
H2 will evaporate.
It is unstable. It has to have two valency. H cannot stand in the environment. H2 can. Not 2H. H is not the same thing as 2H. So H2. That's the formula. Why aroma comes next? Gas. Gas comes out.
Yes.
Hydrogen gas comes out as a byproduct. So CuSO4 plus H2. Now, this may take probably about 30 minutes. Probably in big factories, not in distributed, it takes instantaneously. To hasten the process of the chemical reaction, perhaps you can add a catalyst. Hastening the process of manufacture means reducing cost, and that is variable cost. Or probably you have a networking system. in which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a process, starting with 1. And 1 has to go to 2, and then 2 has to process it a little bit, it has come down like this, etc. This is the finished use. Perhaps it takes 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. 6 weeks. And 6 weeks of process period is involving production cost. To reduce it, probably you engage a strategist. It should be technically feasible, assuming the technical feasibility. I would say simultaneously 1 and 2, the same thing will also get processed at 4. And this 2, after coming to 3, can go directly to 5, and this also can go to 5. This is called the mean critical path. The path in the network, which is the least period taken, is called mean critical path, done through what is called PERT analysis, that is performance evaluation review technique. That's a networking system which they follow in projects. CPM is called critical path method, and identifying critical path in a PERT chart is project technology. By adopting a network which yields me or reduces the existing CPM, will as a collateral effect, it will reduce overheads. Overheads is a word that is given to identify the costs. Costs can be either variable overheads or fixed overheads. Overhead is a technical term in economic terms to mean cost. It can be in either variable cost or fixed cost.
What is R in fact?
Review.
Review technique.
Performance evaluation review technique.
Reducing the critical cost, why does it reduce cost? Because you produce more during the same time.
Yes, time is money there.
Times.
Now my investment is locked up in one large operating cycle. I should hasten to manufacture finished product. That's my last station in my journey.
Yes.
But I have to touch all the other stations. Now, instead of taking one station at a time, if technically it is possible, I can take the same material to proceed from one batch going to 2, other batch going to 4, and by the time those 2 are completed, perhaps 2 can go also to 3, and 3, since 4 is already over, can go directly and undercut one station. And can you give me an example, a manufacturing example?
Even for software, when the team writes the software, it goes to the team coding people write the code, and
Yes.
it goes to quality,
Yes.
and it goes to automation,
Okay.
integration. So
Fine.
5, 6 parts are there. So
Simultaneous. You don't have to go in a queue system. Take a simple example of a civil construction, or even nowadays magic box. That is a bridge. The tunnel is being done. Simultaneously, the bridge is already being built and made elsewhere on some other site. And by the time the tunnel is ready, the bridge is ready, and the bridge is brought overnight and fixed. That is a magic box system. This is one example of PERT. See how many ramifications are possible out of an innocuous looking one-page income statement. As an assignment, can you write a one-page note on break-even sales, margin of safety, and how the methods available for
Sir, come again, sir. Write a one page more.
like 1 or 2 pages note, write a note
Okay.
on BES, MOS, that is 1, 2, 3. Strategies for enlarging MOS or arresting the decline in MOS. That's not now, that's an assignment next week. Unless you start writing from today, you will not be able to do that assignment because it will evaporate by tomorrow. Your study should commence after the class is over, not during the class.
But all of you remember, no? Breakthrough analysis was one of the questions for your entrance exam.
Right.
Correct? Remember? So, if you are able to go through the whole scheme of the program, I want all of you to again rewrite that your entrance exam. That is the minimum takeaway to be an executive MBA. Yeah? Using the right tech terms, the right approach with the right formulas. Then I think there is some takeaway from this course. They are all fundamental concepts in finance, marketing, HR and operations. Minimum, then sky is the limit when you want to pursue any specialization. So each question that was asked in the entrance exam has got a relevance to your, that's how we have made assessment. Depending on your answers there, okay, these people are in this particular level, that's where you have to pick. Otherwise, where to pitch? We should also know, because suddenly we can't push you to the high voltage analysis. Clear? So let this sink in, do all the simple assignments. Next stage is always there for it. Project management will be a much intricate subject. But when you discuss project management, you should not ask all these fundamental questions. Clear? Are you able to understand the flow now? What has happened 6 months back, where you have reached? It's station by station you have to move.
Okay. Take this example. International Enterprises Limited make and sell. See, unless you sell, there is no break-even sales. So by making it, you don't have economics of this. Make and sell. That means they don't buy and sell. They are not traders. They are manufacturer sellers. 2 items, comma. Formaldehyde product. F-O-R-M-A-L, formaldehyde. What the word? Formaldehyde. F-O-R-M-A-L-D-E-H-Y-D-E. What is it used for? So, it's a pharma drug. Pharma is a bulk material for manufacturing the medicines. It's an aliphatic hydrocarbon, organic chemistry. What is the other form of hydrocarbon? The whole world is hydrocarbon. Human body, everything is hydrocarbon. Plants, animals, any living being, we drop, in the water, everything is hydrocarbon, just hydrogen and carbon. And there are two varieties of hydrocarbon in the whole world. And one is called aliphatic, ALIPHATIC, aliphatic hydrocarbon. Another is aromatic hydrocarbon. Aromatic is derived from the word aroma. Aroma is beautiful smell. For example, camphor is an aromatic hydrocarbon. Benzene, toluene are hydrocarbons of aromatic hydrocarbons. Any nice smelling thing, perfume. Perfumes are made of aromatic. Benzene. Benzene is the product to make aftershave lotion or room freshener. They are aromatic hydrocarbons. So basic manufacturing, these people do. And second product, and phthalic anhydride. Phthalic, most of you will not be able to spell this, because you should understand that the word phthalic is derived from naphtha. It is a crude oil byproduct. Naphtha spelling you should know. NaPHTAT. Phthalic is dropout Na, not P. So it is PTHLIC. P is silent. Shanath, have you heard of a book written by P.G. Wodehouse, Leaving to Smith? One series with like Jeeves, a Smith series. His word is, his spelling is PSMITH.
Yes.
Spelling of his name, Smith, is PSMITH. So he goes to an employment bureau for seeking a job. He is a last relic of an aristocratic family. Absolutely penniless, but only titles. Baron so-and-so, Baroness so-and-so, all titles given by the queen and the king, with no money.